Alright, I need someone to explain to me how I managed to get airdropped into the Welcome Home fandom. Like, I was just going along, minding my own business, living my life, until I started seeing this little fucker appear all over my FYP. And of course, me, knowing how the internet tends to work, my first thought was, oh, new video game. New video game got popular. It's a Five Nights at Freddy's knockoff. That was my initial thought. But that's not what it is exactly. I don't have anything I can compare it to. Go ahead and take a guess which character has now become my hyperfixation that I have become hopelessly obsessed with for no reason at all whatsoever. Go on, just guess. You people know me. Guess which one it is. Sir, I need to know what gives you the right. This is what it's come to. This is my life. You know, my FYP is wrecked. I got airdropped into the Welcome Home fandom, and now I found out there's a filter? I've always wanted to do something like this, so we're gonna do the Welcome Home characters if they were in school. Aw, Eddie. Let it be known that I was inspired to do this specific topic by another creator by the name of Remy, and I'll be tagging them in this TikTok. Alright, I gotta get this question out of the way right now. Who's the resident bully? It comes out that he doesn't have a very supportive home life and no outlet to express his feelings. Who's the athlete that's a part of like 3 different sports teams? Ma'am, how are you doing volleyball, softball, and track and field all at the same time? Who's the artsy kid? Who's the creative one? Of course he is. Who's the popular kid? Who's at the top of the food chain? Because he's so lovable, that's why. Opposite end of the spectrum, who's the outcast? No, Frank. You can sit at my table, Frank, it's fine. Who's a straight A student that's passing every class? Of course it's Frank. Opposite end of the spectrum, who just barely manages to pass? Howdy. I can't think of a reason why that would be. Who's the theater kid? Yes, absolutely she is. Who's repping for all the band kids out there? Barnaby. I can't think of what kind of instrument he would play. And finally, who's a choir kid? Who's in choir? She's an expert in musicals. Alright, who's the class clown? Barnaby. Honestly, I can see it. Who's the teacher's pet? Honestly, it's because she's so nice. She's so nice. And finally, who's the quiet kid? Who's got people concerned? Frank, I need you to see the guidance counselor, okay? Who's the guidance counselor Frank is gonna see? That was just too funny. Anyways, I want to do more of these types of videos because, honestly, I had a lot of fun with this one. But, like, the only ones I've ever managed to see are, like, murder mysteries and stuff, and I don't want to break my heart like that. So, if anyone wants to see more of these types of TikToks, give me some ideas in the comments, because I have no idea what I'm doing with this. Anyway, this was fun. I love this too much. The Welcome Home characters, if they were at a sleepover? Sure. Let me tap into some childhood memories. You know, it's been years since I've been to a sleepover, so I'm just gonna go based off of the biggest and most memorable one that I've ever been invited to. Now, who suggests we have a sleepover? Whose brilliant idea was this? Frank! A man full of brilliant ideas. Now, whose house are we sleeping over at? I swear, if it's Frank's or Eddie's, I'm going to laugh my ass off. Julie. This sounds like it's going to be a fun time. Who's the one that's bringing the snacks? Poppy. You're the real one. You are saving this sleepover from utter disaster. Who's put in charge of bringing the board games? Also, Poppy. Poppy, you best not be doing all the work around here, okay? Other people gotta pitch in too. Who's in charge of the movie selection? Oh, Wally. Oh, this could either be really good or really bad or really boring. Who decides to start telling scary stories? Oh boy. I feel like this is about to go to hell in a handbasket real quick. Alright, the night is winding down. Who falls asleep first? Oh, Eddie. Honestly, I'll let him. Now, at this particular sleepover that I was invited to, there was a sleepwalking incident, so who starts sleepwalking in the middle of the night? Somebody stop it. Who manages to stay awake long enough to keep an eye on Wally and make sure he doesn't wander out of the house or anything? Julie, you are a sweetheart. She absolutely would. Alright, who manages to stay awake all night and pull an all-nighter? You know, I'm sure Frank is so used to staying up all night studying butterflies. It wouldn't surprise me. Alright, who wakes up early and decides to make everybody breakfast? Howdy! Love you for that, Howdy. You are the best. Alright, there's always that one person who goes home early. Howdy. Probably goes home immediately after making everybody breakfast so he can run his store. Alright, who stays longer to help clean up after the sleepover? Frank. You're a good friend, Frank. And who overstays their welcome? Who's there way longer than they're supposed to be? You started rambling about butterflies, didn't you, Frank? The Welcome Home characters. Shopping trip edition. Alright, who's driving? How scared do we need to be? We're gonna be fine. Who's bringing a list and is hell-bent on sticking to it? He's not going to stick to it. Who's just going in to pick up a couple of items? He's not just going to pick up a couple of items. Who is solely focused on buying the groceries? Who's just there for the necessities? Frank is definitely going to stick to the list. Who's going to the store because they needed new clothes? Of course you did. I imagine like this dude's wardrobe is just overflowing with outfits he doesn't wear. Who falls into the trap and spends like an hour in the home decor section? I can see it. Who's in the arts and crafts section stocking up on supplies? Of course he is, and he's buying the entire section. Who's in the toy section? Children's toys or pet toys? Alright, who is the expert in finding a good deal? Absolutely he is. He runs his own store. Who seemingly has a coupon for everything? Facts. Alright, who overspends? Who goes way over budget? Julie! I'm pretty sure she has a good reason. It might be the cost of inflation, who knows? Who has to borrow money because they don't have enough to fit the bill? Of course, you overspent. And who does Julie borrow money from? Why do I feel like this guy ain't got the money neither? Alright, who's the Karen that gets into an argument with the cashier? Frank! I know that doesn't exactly seem out of character for him, but that was unnecessary. Look, Sally's trying to calm your ass down. Alright, someone gets lost in the store. Who is it? He's in the pet section. $20 says he's in the pet section. Alright, we managed to make it back to the car in one piece. Well, who has to go back in because he forgot something? Look at this face. This is the face of a person that is absolutely not surprised. Who's the responsible person that puts the cart back in the corral? You know he would. You know he would. And who's the jerk that just leaves the cart in the middle of the parking lot? I expected better from you, Frank. This is the most chaotic shopping trip I have ever heard of. When I tell you, I basically had a fanboy attack when I got this comment, because this has the potential to be ridiculously wholesome or ridiculously funny. Alright, so neighbor is sick. Who's the first one to find out and tell the others? She absolutely would. And for the record, we're just going to say it's nothing too serious like the common cold or the flu. Who is immediately worried even though it's not all that serious? Oh, poor Eddie, he would. Who immediately takes it upon themselves to take care of neighbor? Howdy. I gotta be honest, I wasn't expecting that. Alright, who ends up scaring themselves silly because they consulted the help of Dr. Google? Barnaby would. And who takes the advice of an actual doctor? Frank would. Who makes a run to the store to get neighbor some medicine? Let's face it. You're thinking what I'm thinking. He's going because there's apples. Who goes out of their way to make neighbor a bowl of soup? I'm pretty sure she would. Who sends us a get well soon card? Oh, Sally. That's really sweet. And finally, who ends up getting sick because of neighbor? Oh no! Poor Eddie! I'm so sorry. Sorry this one was a little bit shorter. I didn't really have a lot of ideas for it. Welcome home characters. Camping edition. Alright, whose idea was it to go camping? I can see it. Who loves to go camping and is fully prepared? Howdy. You know, I imagine that on the occasion he just wants to get away from it all. Who absolutely despises camping in every sense of the word? But you're the one who suggested the camping trip. Who just enjoys the idea of being out in nature? I sense some trouble a-brewing. Who picks a campsite? Alright, I know you know that he knows the perfect campsite. And because this is a classical camping trip, who needs help pitching their tent? The one who suggested the camping trip absolutely hates going camping, needs help pitching their tent. I can see it. Who helps Sally pitch her tent? Of course, the one who likes to go out and go camping. Who gets to work on building a campfire? We're in trouble. Who goes down to the river or lake and goes fishing? I can see it. Who decides to go out and go hiking? Frank is going out to study butterflies. That's what they're doing. I finally got Frank's pronouns right! Because this isn't chaotic enough, who stumbles into a patch of poison ivy? Oh my god! Who forgot their sunscreen and got horribly sunburned? I'm sorry, Frank. Who gets started on making s'mores and roasting weenies? She's trying to find at least some joy in this experience. Who gets everybody started on singing campfire songs? Yeah, she's definitely trying to find some joy in this experience. Who starts telling scary stories about urban legends and people getting lost in the woods? Frank, how could you? Who actually gets lost in the woods? How did we lose her? Alright, I'm going with somebody to go and find Poppy. Who am I going with? I'm lost with Poppy. Who eventually ends up finding us? Oh no. Alright, it's nighttime. Who's unable to sleep? Sally, I'm so sorry. Every turn in this camping trip has been a left. Alright, this camping trip is wrapping up. Who dreaded going on this camping trip but ended up really enjoying it? I don't know how, but we got a happy ending.